And bam, we are live. Welcome, YouTube. All right, here we are. Is day 18, and we are in our 30-day AI prompt challenge. So we're going to get to it. Looks like YouTube's buffering a little bit right now. Must be a busy day. All right, guys, welcome. Let's share the screen. You know the drill. Hopefully, you all are doing well. Had a good holiday the other day, and you're well relaxed and ready to go. All right, so again, we're doing the 30-day AI prompt challenge for remodelers. Every day, I bring you a new prompt, right? And what's a prompt? That is the text that you're going to put into the AI generator of your choice so that you get the good result, right? Because crap in, get your crap out. You got to put in good information, and there's a process for how you tell the AI machine so that it can be smart. All right, let's go. So here we are. Today is day 18. I got the slides here. Let's get them open for you. Get that off. All right, Google, we don't need. All right. So today we're going to look, we've been talking about the project, right? And the client journey. And a lot of you guys, this is what happens. It happened for me in the beginning till I understood and could recognize the pattern. And what we want is the client's experience to be like that. We want them happy and stay happy and finish happy. Whereas a lot of you guys, when you sign the deal, everybody's excited. Woo, let's get going, high-fiving, right? Couple weeks in, somebody's usually getting pissed. It's usually the homeowner. And then it just goes south, and then issues come up, problems, everyone's bitter. And then how many times have you said, I just can't wait to be done this job. I don't ever want to see this project again, right? Because you're bitter and you're frustrated. They're bitter. We don't want that. We don't want the down and the up. Some of you guys, it just keeps going down, doesn't come back up. What we want to keep is it a steady. And if anything, we want to try to bring it home strong. So everyone's real excited. All right. So how do we do that? Well, we have to have empathy as a leader. All right. So this is all part of Pillar 4. And that is things we get into at the Remodeling Academy, right? So if you're familiar with the flywheel, right, this is part of Pillar 4. This is the client journey. We're building trust, and we're handling that when we're in tough moments. Because if you know anything about remodeling, stuff goes sideways frequently, right? How many times have you been a day or two into a job, you open up a wall, a cavity, and boom, all of a sudden you find something that you just weren't expecting, right? And then now you need a change order. And then what happens, right? The frustration. Do you just do it for free? Then you feel guilty. Well, maybe I should just do it. No. If you see a change order, you have to address it. And it's hard to do the first few times. But once you exercise that change order muscle and you put it out and you say, Mr. and Ms. Smith, here's the scope of work for this project. We have just uncovered something that none of us knew about. You didn't know it. I didn't know it. It was never discussed. It's not in our scope. But now we have this issue to deal with. And as you recall from our pre-construction meeting and when we did our initial agreement, I went over our agreement, and in there I discussed our change order policy. And this is now where we're at a change order situation, right? And you have to be able to manage that situation well so that everybody walks out and they're happy and excited, because a good effective change order means that the client is signing and authorizing the additional work and paying you right then and there. Change orders get paid upfront in advance, no excuses. All right. And there's a change order fee for doing the whole process. So you have to have a good process where you pre-sell it, pre-explain it, and then you can effectively go through it if you want this process to work. Otherwise, you're going to end up being the guy that doesn't charge and then walks out of the job frustrated, and because you took on all this additional stuff and you just did it for free because you didn't want to make any waves or get anyone upset. All right. So as we said, why all this matters, remodeling rarely unfolds without surprises, right? Walls hide. We talked about this. If you've seen some of my other stuff, the M word, pipes could be corroded, right? Maybe the client changes their mind. That happens a lot. Homeowner hires you to do the job. You get started. Then they happen to be at a friend's house, or they went visiting something, and they come back and they go, Mike, I'm so excited. I was there, this place this weekend, and I saw this, and I want you to do that. And I'm like, well, that's not what we talked about. Yeah, but no, I'm really excited about this now. I want this. So now you got to make a change. All right. So these moments are inevitable. It's not if they're going to happen, it's when, and again, they're going to keep happening. So you have to be prepared and have a good way to handle it. All right. And these are also your biggest opportunity as a professional, experienced remodeler to navigate through them. I will say this: in the beginning, I struggled with change orders. And then when we came up with our change order process and I exercised that process 2 different times, I'm going to tell you what, it changed a lot of things, because now I didn't have any hesitation, any fear, any worry, any anxiousness. If my project manager called me or lead carpenter and said, Mike, we just found this big problem, and they're all worried, I'm like, awesome. Pull out the change order. What's the change order process? Run it. Call me back when you know the price. Boom. Let's do. Did the client give you a check yet? Have you talked to him? Like, it's like no big deal. It's kind of like stopping to get fuel and knowing that you're going to pick the certain gas, you're going to put it in the truck, and then you're going to move on. We have to stop and get gas. We got a change order. Let's do the change order process, right? So understand that clients are going to have some flexibility. They might not worry about like this little delay or that little delay, but clients never forget how you made them feel when the delays and the problems happened, right? So you have to become an expert at navigating the way clients are going to feel about things. They are the way you communicate in tough times will define your reputation more than your craftsmanship ever could. All right. So some key strategy. Think about this. We have something called the CARE framework, and this is how you handle a change order, right? It's a little emotional intelligence approach. And here we go. So first, you have to clarify the issue in non-technical terms. We discovered the following. Okay. And then you have to acknowledge, and that wasn't a part of our scope. It was never discussed. You weren't aware of it. I wasn't aware of it. And now we cannot move forward without making some changes. There's going to require additional work, labor, material, cost. And it's going to affect the schedule, right? So you explain and acknowledge the impact it's going to have on the client, and you be connected emotionally and logistically. All right. And then you recommend the best plan going forward, which is the change order. This is how we're going to address it. Here's how we're going to do it, what we're going to do, and how much it's going to cost. And you empower the client with reassurance and confident leadership. What we need you to do at this moment is to authorize this change order so we can get going, and we need payment today. Or we'll wait. As soon as you make the payment, we can move on with the project. So you let us know when you're ready for the project to move on. And this is a very effective way to handle a change order policy. Be direct, be straightforward, be empathetic. Explain that, yes, this is frustrating. I'm sure it happens. That is what, remember, and you should have had part of your sales process. You should explain to customers that they should put some money aside for any remodeling project as a contingency, because unexpected things happen. Even though we are experienced and we've been through a lot, we find new things all the time. I have been doing this for many years, and I still come across things that I wouldn't have expected or even haven't seen done in the past. There's always some Yahoo out there trying some new way to do something, and you just don't know it exists until you find out, and there you show up. I'll give you an example. A girlfriend just bought a house, and I'm out doing the home inspection for her, and we're looking at the house, and I was like, man, the garage, the shape is a little strange. And what I mean is, normally the garages have a lot of several feet on either side of the door. And I look from the outside of the house, and I was like, this garage, it should have been like 6 feet wider, right? But it's not. And then you get inside and you realize the previous homeowner decided to take 6 feet off of a 24-foot wall. And that's where they decided to build a hallway to put in a laundry room and a half bath. Well, this is the great part about it. They didn't decide to put any footer for the wall. They just thought, well, we'll just throw the wall on top of the garage floor. And it gets even better because the original builder, when they built the house, right, and they disturbed the area around the foundation, and then they put the footer in our area, you do a concrete, footer. Then you build up your block wall, And when they backfilled, obviously they didn't compact it properly. So it settled over time, which caused the concrete floor in the garage to sink several inches. So now this one long wall of the house, which you think is your inside, it doesn't have a proper footer. So the wall has shifted. The door doesn't work right. Like there's gaps. Like, and I was like, I've never seen that before. You always come across new things. All right. So let's talk about the conversational script. So here's a scenario that you can use when you're doing your trainings, right? And so let's say we have this. So midway through a bathroom remodel, you discover that there's this corroded pipe. It's going to add another $1,850 in 2 extra days. The homeowner says, what? That wasn't in the deal? Are you saying this is going to cost more and take longer? As a contractor, I completely understand your concern. Let me explain what's happening. When we removed the flooring, we uncovered original plumbing that's badly corroded. It's not safe or up to code. Unfortunately, that's not something that was visible during our initial walkthrough. Homeowner, I feel really frustrated. I wasn't planning to spend the money. Contractor, that's totally fair. I hear you. I understand. I'd feel a similar way if I was in your shoes. I want you to know I'm here to help make sure that this gets done right and that you can feel supported throughout, right? And then you go through some like options and plans, replace, the cost, right? Optional concession. I wouldn't get into that if I were you. All right. So let's get into the prompt. Give me a second here. Boom. Boom. All right. So here's the prompt. AI prompt. Practice tough talks with confidence. Paste into ChatGPT to train smarter and communicate better. Act as a remodeling coach and role play expert using advanced relational intelligence, ARI, right? That's a Remodeling Academy specialty. Let's simulate a tough but realistic remodeling scenario. We're halfway through the bathroom remodel, and during demo, my crew discovers corroded pipes must be replaced, wasn't in the original scope, and will add cost both and time, right? I need to communicate this clearly and empathetically to the client, gain their understanding, get approval for a change order as the AI play the role of the concerned homeowner, help stimulate the conversation, alternate between homeowner and contractor lines with empathy, clarity, and leadership. So let's see how this would look. So you hit boom, and it's going to come out just what we went through. All right, so here's your prompt. And now please present the scenario. Right, so here you have it. This is the role play. Homeowner says, wait, you mean the pipe needs replacing? Wasn't that part of the deal? Are you telling me this is going to cost more and take longer? Like, that's a realistic conversation that could happen. You completely understand why this is frustrating, right? I want you to be fully transparent with what's going on. When we removed the wall, we found the original pipes are corroded, no longer up to code. They weren't visible during our initial walkthrough, and unfortunately, they pose a risk if left as is, right? And she'll be like, oh, I get that things come up, but this is just more money on top of what we're underspending. It feels like a surprise. You're right to feel that way. I'd feel the same in your shoes. We do our best to anticipate everything, but some issues don't reveal themselves until demo begins. What matters now is how we handle it. Here's the plan I put together to minimize the impact. Recommended plan. We're going to replace the damaged piping immediately. We're going to add 2 days to the timeline. Here's your cost, $1,850. And you can offer this. That's up to you if you guys want to do an optional concession. I'm not a big fan of doing that. You just present the price and move on. And then you have the confident close. Our priority is doing the right job. No shortcuts. I'll send over the change order. Once you approve it and pay for it, we'll get started right away. You're in good hands. So there you go. And now you have it handled, right? You have to communicate in an effective way. Change orders can be challenging. You just have to deal with it in the moment when it happens. You have to put it in writing. At minimum, it has to be on some sort of a form that gets sent in email. Everyone has to be aware. And then we personally have them sign something, whether it's a digital signature or it's in person on paper. You have the homeowner sign and acknowledge, and you receive payment, and you reiterate this entire time. Not only does it have to be authorized as soon as we have the payment in full for the change order, because here's what happens. If you don't collect the payment in full for the change order, it throws off all your other payments. So you have an agreement already with the homeowner. And in that original construction agreement, you already have milestones and payments, right? And certain dollar amounts that you are itemized out in the agreement. And now you have this change order. You don't want to be adding this change order to all that, because now you would have to get a whole, no. Your change order policy that is written in your agreement states that change orders are dealt with at the moment when they happen, paid for in advance separately. Boom, done. And then all the other payments, you explain to the homeowner, all your other payment schedules still happen the way they are. They're still the same amount. You're paying for the change order separately. It's its own little item. Boom, paid, done, finished. I wouldn't do payment plans on it. I would just, it's one payment and done. You do this because you want to keep everything simple, accounting simple, and the process simple. Believe me, you think you're being nice and you try to help out, and you're like, oh yeah, we'll take 30% now, and that, it's going to become an accounting nightmare for you, and you're already not great at keeping records half the time. So don't do it. Take one payment and be done. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. And again, here we were today. Where did we go with our screenshots? I guess day 30 of the AI. So today was day 18 of the 30-day AI prompt challenge. Appreciate you all being here again. And we welcome you to come back tomorrow. And I will stop sharing the screen. Boom. All right, guys. Have a great one. And stay at it. We'll see you next time. Again, if you have any questions, you need any help with your AI game as far as it relates to your remodeling business, man, reach out. Let us know. We'll be happy to address it. All right. And remember, we're doing 30 days straight of AI prompts. So we have approximately 12 more to go. Take care.